All right,
Hello.
we're live.
Perfect. Hello, Jack. How are you doing today?
I'm very good. Hello, Zaki. How's it going?
Good. Amazing. It's a pleasure to have you here today with me to be able to talk a little bit about Zen Crypto and what's exciting about this project. I have a lot of questions from my community, the Arabic community, interested to know more about Zen. They would like to know about this new concept, the crypto that you can mint and get it for free. They have a lot of questions about it. So today we'll go over these questions. Would like to know more about Zen. But first of all, I would like to thank you so much for having the time for us to be able to be with us today to answer all these questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. Thanks for having me. Let's dive deep.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Zen been over the news over the last few weeks since the day it was launched, actually, even before it got launched, especially with the burn on Ethereum and all the excitement with people using the Zen protocol to be able to mint Zen for free. So, just to hear from you a little bit, like you are the person who created this project. Can you give me and the community a little bit about what Zen it is, what's about Zen, what's special about Zen crypto?
Well, I mean, I would say it is new and it's very different, and at the same time, it's bringing in the old. So when I say it's bringing in the old, it's bringing in the original ideas of what Bitcoin is based on. Specifically, when Bitcoin was first invented, there was no supply of Bitcoin and it was free because there was
Right.
no market. And people could mine it for free as well. So Zen, uh, I would say, follows the same principles. There is no pre-mine, pre-mint, there's no admin keys, and the team behind Zen does not have any Zen pre-allocated. There's also no investors, which is what I feel makes Zen really the people's crypto. So that is one of the major differences, and that's why I feel that it's getting reception that it has, is because it had what we call a fair launch.
Mhm.
Fair launch means there's no founders that are holding a large allocation that can manipulate the price. The market purely sets the price themselves, however the market likes to be. So it's a collective of people that are participating in the launch, in the mint, and then in the creation of value.
Right. Amazing. It's actually very fascinating the way it works. Like I tried the protocol. I've did few videos about it, how to mint it. People got excited about it. But one of the main questions that we get is where does Zen gets his value from? Like if everyone gonna be minting the coin for free, technically they would be like selling it to make money. Some people will hold it because they believe in the long term of the project. However, some people been selling it. So the two questions that I have, which is like connected to each other. First of all, where does Zen gets its value from, and who are the people who are buying on the crypto exchanges or the decentralized exchanges Zen coin?
Sure. So, how does anything get value? Does the paper money have value? By itself, paper money is nothing but paper.
Right.
So the value, in my mind, comes from the society's agreement of having value of something. And for example, if I wanted to fuel my car tomorrow, I need to have $50 in my pocket today, and or I have to work and get this sort of token of exchange so that I can buy some gas tomorrow. Or if I want to go and do some grocery shopping and do the same. So, but by itself, the token of exchange has no value. So what gives anything value is our society. The world we live in agrees that something is valuable and something is not. So a paper that I make on my own in my kitchen, piece of paper that I cut from my kid's notebook,
Hmm.
it doesn't have the value because I don't have the agreement out there that is actually worth anything. when it comes to crypto, any coins out there, the value comes from many different reasons. One would be the engagement of community. Then it could be the utility, and the utility is usually tied to some other protocols. But some other protocols also have to have value before this new crypto has any sort of utility, right? So
Right.
everything is connected together, and it's connected to the outside world for how the humans perceive what anything has value of, right? And this is how Bitcoin gained its value. Bitcoin gained its value specifically from the fact that it's scarce and it's difficult to create. So it became something like digital gold. Now Zen is free to mint, and that statement basically means that you do not need to buy it from other people that have it. You can mint it for yourself for free. You have an option to buy it if you want, but minting is probably better because you do not need to. You literally create it with your own wallet. Now, if something is free, does it mean it has nothing of valuable in it? Well, it's actually not true. So, for the sake of argument, let's say some well-known figure like Elon Musk decides to mint Zen. Will Zen have value? I would say right away it will have value because it's paid attention by a very important person.
Right.
But by itself, it has no value. And so the value, in my mind, comes from the community participation and the size of the community. Because if you have a lot of people participating in the protocol, then likely they find it interesting one way or the other. Maybe they find themselves interesting. And the token and this new crypto, is what unites them. So that is another way to think about it. So something that has, let's say, 200 million people that hold crypto, will that crypto be zero? Probably not, because as soon as the companies in the world out there that are providing services will realize that there is a community of 200 million people, they will immediately try to offer services to the people that hold Zen so that they could use their Zen to participate in all kinds of things that are valuable to the companies and to their presence in the business world.
Right. So to understand it better, like Zen protocol, it's more of, as you said from the beginning, it's the people currency, it's the community currency, and the value that it gets it's from the people holding this coin and interacting and using the protocols on Zen, right?
Right.
Absolutely. So to understand from you, you mentioned one thing about like protocols and things and ecosystem where you can use Zen. Can you tell me more about the future about Zen, like in terms of future building protocols that people can use Zen for?
Yes. So at this point, it's only been 15 days. And so far, it's been the utility of Zen has been to burn some gas.
Right.
So we have burned so much gas that we made Ethereum pretty much go back to the beginning at the time of merge. So back to September 16th or 17th, when the merge happened on Ethereum, the presence of Zen on many different chains burned a lot of gas and brought attention back to Ethereum. You could actually see the Uniswap trading spike right after, in the wake of Zen launch. So the markets got invigorated because there was a lot of eyes looking back on Ethereum. And the Ethereum Foundation, I think, is very happy that something that they have designed has actually worked. It's burning gas for them. So that's the utility for the last, I would say, 2 weeks. We did not anticipate to burn so much gas.
Right.
But clearly, the crypto community got very excited and started minting Zen very, very rapidly. So that's one utility. Is I feel like Zen is helping to secure the network because the validators get paid more, the miners get paid more. We have a lot of chains reporting that our presence on their chains actually increasing number of transactions and making their chains interesting. Now, there are some other smaller chains that are reporting that they're integrating Zen into all of their dApps because there's so much activity and interest in the Zen ecosystem. And so they're co-building the applications with us together.
Nice. That's amazing. And what about in terms of like and if there is any NFT or any of kind of these DApp applications coming up to Zen protocol?
I'm glad you asked because we actually just announced an NFT project that will be launching on Zen. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to share a screen a little for just a second.
Yeah.
Let's see. So this is what we're looking at. We're looking at Zen NFTs. Now, NFT is a loaded word. It could be anything. It could be a game. It could be a collectible. It could be something else entirely.
Right.
Now, what's very interesting about Zen NFT is that those NFTs are not airdropped. And a lot of times, what happens is that the NFT team releases 10,000 NFTs, and then they airdrop them to people, and that's how they raise money, and then they make money from royalties as NFTs get traded.
Right.
In this particular case, we're not dropping NFTs. Now they're dropping. We're actually letting people mint their own NFTs by participating in the Zen protocol. So why would you want to have an NFT rather than just to mint Zen with your wallet? When you're minting Zen with your wallet, you get one C rank. So there can only be one C rank per wallet. So
Right.
if people want to make more Zen, then they use multiple wallets to get multiple C ranks. So an NFT gives you an ability to mint in parallel inside the NFT, so to speak, inside the smart contract. And you can specify what we call VMUs, virtual minting units. Those virtual minting units could be up to 100, maybe a little bit more. And that will launch the minting process in parallel with a single wallet, single NFT, but it will actually create 100 times more Zen than you otherwise would make. Now, the limitation is that you still need to pay gas. So if you're making 100 times more Zen, well, guess what? You need to pay 100 times more gas.
Right.
So that is what that setup looks like.
Very interesting. I actually looking forward for this and to learn more about it. That's for sure. And one thing you mentioned earlier about like the burn on Ethereum. This is actually how I got into Zen. Like, I do my research. I look into what's happening new, and then I see like Zen protocol is burning the most on the Ethereum network. And I looked into it, and I see that it's like the concept of it that you can mint the currency, which is amazing, and that's how I dive deep into it and learned more about it. But one thing a lot of people usually ask in the community, which is the first thing, is how much do you think this coin will be valued in the future? Now, I know you said something, which is people will give value to the things, but based on you as the person who created this protocol, what do you think the value of it? And not in terms of dollar, I would say, let's say in terms of percentage. Can it in the future, once the minting reached some high level where the protocol is not giving much Zen coin, that the value of it will start going up and reaching some like amazing numbers, like some project similar to it?
Yes. So let me give you an unusual answer, I would say, and I hope it's unusual and interesting. So we all know how the governments are printing money,
Right.
all the time. The inflation is always happening, and so even if Zen did not exist, there are certain facts that we hold as true. Specifically, that Ethereum-based networks are growing, and there's more and more activity on those networks. We also know that Ethereum itself is becoming deflationary. It becomes scarcer. So there's less of it available. So those two facts combined, that the governments are printing money and Ethereum being deflationary, makes Ethereum cost more in dollar terms. So Ethereum currently is $1,300, but next year it could be $5,000 just because of the growth of Ethereum, its deflation, and as well as the worldwide inflation.
Right.
So that being the case, Zen plugs into the gas usage ecosystem, we expect gas on Ethereum to be more expensive in the future because Ethereum will be more expensive in the future in dollar terms.
Right.
So what happens with Zen is this, is that when you mint Zen with NFT or just with your regular wallet, you're locking in low gas prices on the weekend, and you can lock it in for almost a whole year, 400 days or maybe even more. So it's like buying futures. Like, you know how people buy futures on oil, and you can
Correct.
buy millions of dollars worth of barrels of oil to be delivered or to be matured in a year. Similarly, Zen acts as a futures contract on the gas appreciation in the future. That is one way
Very
to think
interesting.
about it. And as Zen gets more popular, it will burn more gas. And as gas gets more burn, it will reduce the Ethereum Ethereum total amount even more, which will make it more expensive, which will cause the gas to be more expensive, which will make Zen have more value.
Right. Awesome. Thank you so much. Now, one thing I would like to ask about is you mentioned different chains. Is it there is different when you use different chains with the amount that you get, like in terms of the C ranking? Every wallet has its own ranking. So when you use different chains, would the payout would be different than if you use, for example, Ethereum, because Ethereum is the most expensive chain right now?
Yes, I mean, Ethereum is the most expensive chain. It's about 15 times more expensive than Binance. So we expect 1 Zen to be worth 15 Zen on Binance.
Okay, so it's different than different chains. It's not all the same. One of the questions that I got here is from the community. Could Zen go to zero?
Could Zen go to zero? You know, anything can go to zero. So, I mean, let's say that I have a car and I am putting it for sale, but there's nobody around to buy it.
Right,
Is it zero? It probably is, because there's no buyers.
of course.
I just have to wait. I mean, like in all things in life, if we wait long enough or do the right things, then there is value. So that question is almost like kind of reminds me of a situation. Let's say somebody is standing on the North Pole, and they're asking, "Okay, where's North?" It's right under you, but yet anywhere you go, you're gonna step away from the true North. And so that is the same with zero. Anything can be worth zero if there's no buyers, even if it was worth $5 a second ago. So yes and no. There's no way to answer that question really properly. You can do some Eastern philosophy Zen thinking, on that. So that is a good question. Yeah.
I think only time will be able to answer that question.
Yeah. I mean, like I think it should have been zero in the beginning, but it got listed on the exchanges so rapidly that it immediately jumped to $1.
Right.
So, but it doesn't mean it's worth $1. It just means that somebody made a trade worth at $1 per Zen just because they wanted to do it.
Correct. So you mentioned listing on exchanges. Based on my experience, to get a project listed on exchanges, it takes a lot of time. And then when it gets listed, there's a lot of hype about it, like we did the impossible. How did Zen was able to get listed on exchanges, and not just one, not just two, a lot of exchanges, I believe 9 or 10. What was the key for exchanges to list Zen right away?
I think they realized that the risk profile was very favorable. Specifically, if I were to say, I hold 1 billion Zen, please list my crypto on an exchange, the immediate question is going to be, okay, will Jack be selling as we list? And so they saw that there's no allocation and there's nobody to sell, which got them very excited about it. And so within the first day, I think 6 exchanges listed this.
Amazing. I saw like a lot of exchanges listing it. It was something phenomenal for people to be able to mint it, and then if they want to go on the exchange, do some trading, they can do that as well, which is really really great. Now, one of the questions that I have here is in terms of like we know with blockchain, we can either do it manually or we can use applications to do the process for us. In terms of Zen, I assume that bots can definitely do minting on the network. And what are your inputs in terms of that?
So the bots are people. They're just using software to mint more than with automation, but not necessarily with less gas. So the gas still needs to be paid, and they still need to wait for Zen to mature to claim their mint. So I don't believe that bots is anything that can. I don't even think they should be called bots, because a bot is a program that waits for an event to execute a trade on an doing an arbitrage. When something is cheaper on one exchange and more expensive on the other, the bot, which is a program, looks for those discrepancies and tries to even out the price, and then scalp some 5 or 10% for themselves. Now, this isn't what's happening with Zen. Zen have received more than 500,000 real users within the first 2 weeks. We see it on Google Analytics.
Right.
People are actually building applications to mint Zen with many wallets with one transaction. It's actually helping people, making it more secure, because the more wallets you have, the more chance that you're going to lose your keys or accidentally expose the keys of your wallet out there. So an automation is actually a good thing in this case, because everything is fair in the sense that everybody pays the same amount of gas. And then everybody have to wait and participate in the same protocol dynamics. Now, with Zen Torrent, which is our NFT project, this is the first time a person could do their own automation with the NFT framework and have your NFT as a certificate of the Zen's future mint. And there you can have up to 100 C ranks working for you in parallel and use one transaction. So it saves time. It makes it more portable. It gives you a chance to lock in the value today rather than wasting your time on creating a lot of wallets. And it also lets you spend more money on gas. Now, I know some people say, I don't want to spend more money on gas. But
Right.
guys, Zen is free. Nobody's asking you to buy it. And nobody's even asking you to mint it. If you want to have more Zen, then you just have to pay the network. And the network, by definition, is fair too.
Amazing. Now, just to understand better about the NFT aspect of it, you mentioned that you pay the gas today and then you can use the amount that you paid or whatever, like the slot in the future to mint. And that's actually a very, very amazing idea for, especially as in the future when the gas prices increase, you can use the slots that you had from before to use it in the future. Now, in terms of more utilities and stuff, I'm not sure if you can share with us any other things coming up to the protocol.
Any of the things that are coming. So I would say we're working with different teams to get Zen integrated in their DeFi projects. Popcorn.network is one of those projects that are integrating Zen and allowing Zen to be staked for the future yield of Pop. So that's a very interesting project, because you can mint your Zen,
Right.
you can go to the Popcorn network, and you can actually receive a different coin or different crypto. So
Amazing.
that's what makes it interesting. And so we encourage all of the DeFi protocols to adopt Zen and use it to engage with the community. And obviously, we think the community is going to be huge.
Like, yeah, I believe as well. Like, because there's a lot of people right now within the first 2 weeks used Zen to mint it. Like, it's gonna have a huge community in the future. growing as well. And then like we see that with also different coins where the community led the coin to go up. For example, Shiba, like now, like after the community led the coin and started going up, all the companies start mentioning it just so they can have these people that they own Shiba or they know about Shiba. I believe it's even got more popular at some point than Bitcoin and USDT and all these searches on Google. It's more than Bitcoin and USDT, which what people know the most and use the most. It's very interesting to see where Zen goes in the future and how it will play. Do you have any recommendations for people who are interested to mint Zen? What's the best method to use? Which chain, for example? How many days? I know the more you set the date to mint, definitely you will get more because that's more people joining the network. But if you can give us some insights about some strategy or some special way of dealing with this.
Okay, well, there's several things. One is that always mint your Zen on the weekend, because on the weekend we saw gas prices to be 9 gwei or maybe even less. During the weekdays, it goes up to 70. So almost 8 times more gas. So don't mint your Zen when the network is busy. You should mint your, or start your mint, get your C rank on the weekend when the gas prices are all time low. Now, you could specify the MetaMask's gas limit, or specifically, I would say max base fee, and you can set it to 11 with the priority of 1. And it may not necessarily execute right away, but it will enter into the blockchain's queue pool and will eventually execute when the gas prices fall, either overnight or during the weekend. So that is certainly a viable strategy. If you want to go out on the weekend, you don't have to sit in front of your computer. Just queue up your Zen C-rank claims, and they're going to be entered into blockchain and will eventually be executed when the validators will see that the gas price is much lower. Obviously, as you mentioned, having the longest term specified in days is the most optimal, because you're locking in the Zen adoption amplifiers and all of the rewards for the longest possible period. So that is definitely a thing to do. And then once you get your Zen, you can do whatever you want with it. You can stake it, or you can start participating with other DeFi protocols that are building on top of Zen, or using Zen as an onboarding mechanism. So that's what I would say would be a good strategy.
Amazing. I really love like the recommendations that you're giving. It's really like interesting to know that like on the weekend a lot of people don't pay attention to these things. But it's very interesting to know. So if someone wants to maximize on their like profit, let's say, they can do that within the weekend. Now, other question I have here, like you mentioned, there's a lot of chains doing like listing to Zen so they can take advantage of it. Do you have any chains that it's not listed that's coming up in the future you can share with us if it's if you're like allowed to do that? Or
yes, so we're thinking Phantom, because Phantom has a very good ecosystem. Definitely a lot of interesting DeFi projects are happening on Phantom. We're also thinking to explore this thing called Milk Meta, I think. And Milk Meta is gives an ability to non-Ethereum, non-Solidity based, non-AVM based chains to run kind of like I would say an enhancement, so they can have an AVM compatible sidechain. And definitely would be interested to give Zen to Cardano and Polkadot people. I mean, we already are on Polkadot, kind of, because we're on Moonbeam.
right.
And if you look at Moonbeam's Explorer, I'm going to take a look at it right now. We are extremely well received on their chain. And Moonbeam obviously is Polkadot, but it's running EVM,
Right.
and so far they've been very thankful because we're bringing a lot of visibility to their chains. So, but they were thinking Solana and potentially Cardano. If Milkmaid works out, then we should be on those chains.
Amazing. So, Jack, I just want to say one thing. Like, I want you to tell me, or not tell me, tell the community, the Arabic community. This video will be translated to Arabic. I want you to tell the community any insights, anything that you would like to share with them. And keep in mind, there's like over 300 million Arabic speakers around the world. We share knowledge about crypto to them. I would like to hear from you. Like, what would you like to tell the community about Zen? Like something maybe I haven't asked, some thought maybe you would like to share with the community.
Okay, so the most important thing that I would share is that Zen is truly yours. It's truly a community crypto, because there was no any sort of origin pre-mint or pre-mine. Like even with Bitcoin, when Bitcoin was designed, there was maybe 200 people participating in the experiment, and they mined a lot of Bitcoin without the world knowing what the Bitcoin is. Now we live in a different world, and we know that crypto is out there. We know it can make money for people. We know it can be a good investment. We also know that you can do other things with crypto. Like you can play games and all kinds of different things. And so what you should know as number one is that Zen is something that you create yourself, and you're joining the community of people who stand for the first principles of blockchain, which is specifically self-custody, decentralization, open source, censorship resistance, all of those things. And all of those things are important. I mean, especially due to the fact that we think centralization of any kind is not great, because you always end up answering to someone else, and that someone else can have an agenda that you will not necessarily have to agree or want to agree, and yet you'll have no choice. So blockchain and Zen is giving people an opportunity to make their own choices, experience self-custody, learn about blockchain, learn about the technology and what it means for storing an asset that you truly own yourself. So that would be I would say the most important message.
Appreciate it, Jack. And definitely I agree with you. I believe we lack a lot of learning in crypto space, and an opportunity like Zen. It's amazing for people to learn how to interact with wallets, with D apps, and to be able to gain some coins. It's like a faucet where it happens all the time with the new projects, or they teach them how to use a specific application or wallet, and then they get some money. So it's kind of like the same concept. I really love it, and I definitely would love to see it succeed, because I'm minting Zen. And on behalf of me and the whole Arabic community, I would like to thank you for your time today to go through all the questions that we have, and adding more from yourself about like Zen project and why it's special. Thank you so much for your time, and I would love to maybe have you in the future once we see Zen mooning.
Zen mooning, yes. Zen to Mars, actually.
That would be even better.
You know, Elon Musk, he doesn't want to go to the moon. He wants to go to Mars.
Right.
So we should all go to Mars with Zen and with Elon, and then just go out there in space.
Absolutely.
So yeah. Well, thank you for having me. Definitely a pleasure. Let's talk again soon, and let's definitely keep in touch. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jack. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.